Picture a garden, a few backyard beds, tomatoes, peppers, maybe a young fruit tree. Now imagine something hidden beneath it. Attached to the roots, there could be an invisible network doing part of the work most people expect fertilizer to do. What if bigger harvests do not always begin with more fertilizer? What if stronger plants begin with a fungal partnership underground, a system so old it may have helped the first plants survive on land? It sounds strange at first, but once you understand mycorrhiza, it changes how you think about roots, soil, and growth. Most people follow the same logic. Weak growth? Add more fertilizer. Poor season? Buy a stronger product. But that assumes every problem is solved by adding more. Sometimes it is not. Sometimes the real problem is simpler. The roots are not reaching what is already there. Mycorrhiza is a partnership between roots and fungi. The plant feeds the fungus sugars. The fungus spreads through the soil in fine threads and helps the plant reach farther for water and nutrients, especially phosphorus. In practical terms, it is a hidden root upgrade. This is not a modern trend. Scientists named the relationship in the 19th century, but the partnership itself is far older than agriculture. Long before fertilizers were sold in bags, plants were already working with fungi underground. Researchers eventually realized this relationship was not random. Plants with the right fungal partners often handled phosphorus, water, and establishment better than expected. At first, people simply noticed fungi around roots, but the deeper they looked, the clearer it became. These fungi were not just nearby. They were changing how roots functioned. Their threads reached far beyond the roots. That meant the plant could explore more soil, find more water, and access nutrients that move slowly underground. That was when mycorrhiza stopped looking like a curiosity and started looking like a usable system. That is why the subject matters again. Fertilizer is expensive. Water matters more. Soil biology matters more. And more growers are realizing that stronger growth does not always come from forcing more into a plant. Sometimes it comes from helping the plant function better underground. That is why mycorrhiza is showing up again in nurseries, restoration work, regenerative growing, container gardening, and commercial horticulture. This is not just a backyard garden topic. Mycorrhizal inoculants are already used where establishment matters: nurseries, forestry, restoration sites, and parts of commercial growing. At home, the people most interested in it are usually planting tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, squash, melons, roses, shrubs, trees, and other fruiting plants they want to establish well. Now, here is the honest part. Mycorrhiza is real, but it is not magic. It does not replace all fertilizer. It does not fix every bad soil. And it does not guarantee huge harvests overnight. What it can do is improve access to phosphorus, support better establishment, help root function, and sometimes improve drought or stress tolerance. So the real result is usually not miracle growth. It is better efficiency underground. When you look at how mycorrhiza is used in practice, one rule keeps coming up. It has to touch the roots. That is where most people go wrong. If the fungi never make real contact with the root zone, the product is far less likely to do anything meaningful. So the best approach is not to scatter it randomly across the bed. The better approach is to place it where the roots will be. For transplants, tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, squash, melons, roses, shrubs, fruit trees, and many container plants, the most practical method is to place the inoculant directly into the planting hole and onto the root ball so contact happens immediately. For bare root plants, a gel or slurry is often used to coat the roots before planting. For bulbs and seeds, a small amount should go very close to where the first roots will emerge. Not nearby, not on the surface, close to the roots. Soil matters just as much as the product. If the soil is already healthy and biologically active, the fungi may already be present. If the soil is dead, heavily disturbed, recently treated with fungicides, or overloaded with phosphorus, expectations should be lower. Mycorrhiza works best as part of a living system. It is not a magic patch for bad soil. If you want to test it without wasting money, keep it simple. One bed with it, one bed without it, or one row of tomatoes with direct root contact, and one row grown the usual way. Then watch establishment, stress tolerance, and overall strength over time. Not just the marketing, not just the label, the plant itself. Block 14. Because, in the end, this is not really a story about buying fungi. It is about remembering that stronger growth does not always begin with adding more. Sometimes it begins with restoring the underground partnerships plants have used for a very long time. And that is why the smartest systems are often the ones most people never notice.